If I had to start a business again in 2026 and all I had was my phone, my laptop, my skills, and a few hours a day as a student, I would not start with a fancy logo, a big office, or a 40-page business plan. I would start with one painful problem, one useful offer, and one paying client. Because in 2026, the people who win in business are not always the loudest people or the richest people or the people with the most followers. They're the people who solve real problems fast, build trust fast, and learn fast. And I know this because even as a student, I work as the CEO of Doxalin Consult, where I help people acquire Ghanaian documents like a birth certificate, passport, affidavit, and gazettes through the proper process. And I'm also into vibe coding, where I help agencies and businesses get professional websites without turning the whole thing into a 6 month drama. My name is Daisy Adams, and on this channel, Doxalin, we talk about wealth building, leadership, and skills. So in this video, I'm going to share 10 rules that can help you start your business in 2026, even if you're a student, even if you feel behind and you've been saying, I want to start for way too long. And please stay till the end because the last rule is the one that quietly changes everything. Now, a lot of people say they want to start a business, but what they really mean is that they want the lifestyle of a successful entrepreneur without the discomfort of becoming one. They like the idea of freedom, they like the idea of money, the idea of saying, I run a business, but they don't want to send the awkward message. They don't want to talk to customers, and neither do they want to hear no as an answer. And that's exactly why most people stay stuck, because the truth is, business in 2026 is not about waiting for the perfect time. It's about becoming the kind of person who can create value with what you already have. So let's get into the rules. Rule number 1, start with a painful problem and not a random passion. The first rule is that if you want to start a business in 2026, do not start with what business sounds cool. Start with a problem that is expensive, stressful, urgent, repetitive, or even confusing. And that is where businesses are born. A lot of people start from fantasy. They say, I want to own my own brand. I want to build an app. I want to be my own boss. Okay, but what problem are you solving, okay? Because the market does not pay you because your idea sounds so nice. The market pays you because your solution reduces stress, saves time, protects money, creates status, or even gets results. That's one reason document support is a real business. If someone is struggling to acquire a birth certificate, a passport, an affidavit, or even a gazette, that's not just paperwork. That can affect travel, work, school, identity verification, or legal process, and that is a real problem with emotional weight attached to it. The same thing applies to websites. A lot of businesses and agencies don't need a website in the abstract. They need credibility. They need a digital presence, as somewhere to send clients. They need something that makes them look serious when opportunity shows up. So when I help agencies get professional websites through vibe coding, I'm not just selling pages on the internet. I'm helping them look trustworthy, modern, and ready for business. And that is the shift. Do not sell a product, sell relief, sell clarity, sell speed, confidence, and the outcome. And one more thing here is that paying beats interest almost every time. People may be interested in many things, but they pay faster when a problem is already disturbing them. So if you're a student wondering what business to start, look around your life and ask, what are people constantly confused about? What do they keep asking me for help with? What takes them too much time? What do they delay because it feels stressful? What can I make simpler? So for example, if you are a student and you kind of like an incoming tech guru and people come to you with tech issues, or I have this issue with my laptop, and you solve it quickly for them, now stop giving that consultation for free. Start charging them for it. And gradually, it becomes a real life business. That literally can change your life. Rule number 2, design your physical environment to make business inevitable. The second rule is what I would call the environment rule. A lot of people think starting a business is mainly a motivation problem. It usually isn't. It's an environmental problem. So if your room, your desk, your phone, your habits, and your daily routine are designed for distraction, then of course your business stays an idea. So one of the most practical ways you can do is design your environment in a way that makes building your business even easier than avoiding it. So, for example, if you say you want to start a business, but your laptop opens to Netflix, your phone opens to TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and your desk is so chaotic that you don't even want to sit there, you are making entrepreneurship harder than it needs to be. In 2026, you want your environment to whisper the right thing to you. Your notebooks should be nearby. Your list of offers should be visible. Your work corner should be so simple. Your charger should work. Your internet bundle ready. Your basic tools should already be installed. And your phone should be popping up apps that increase your productivity. This sounds small, but small frictions destroy big dreams. And part of what helps me in the work I do is that I think in systems, and that comes partly from my background as a health information manager, because health information management trains you to respect process, documentation, confidentiality, organization, and accuracy. You learn that when information is mercy, people suffer. When systems are clear, people move faster. And that mindset fits business perfectly because in business, chaos is so expensive. So if you don't just hype yourself up emotionally, set up your physical space so that when you sit down, the next action is so obvious. Rule number 3, design your digital environment so wax becomes your default. Now, the third rule is the digital version of that. In 2026, your phone can either be a business partner or a thief. And for most people, it is a thief. It steals attention, time, confidence, and momentum. And then they say, I don't have time to build my business. Meanwhile, your screen time tells a very different story. So here's the rule. Make your business choose the first thing you see. If you're serious, your phone should not feel like an entertainment machine with a dream hidden inside it. It should feel like a mobile headquarters. And that means the first screen on your phone should probably include some version of WhatsApp business, your notes, your calendar, email, Canva, ChatGPT, or your AI tool, your banking app, your tax manager, and maybe your content app if you're building publicly. And if you do document support, keep templates ready. If you build a website, keep your design references and client briefs ready. If you're learning sales, keep your outreach script ready. And reduce the number of tabs between you and your productive action. And so one of the reasons many people never start is not that they are lazy, as that their devices are designed to pull them away from the version of themselves they're trying to become. So make one simple decision. When you unlock your phone, your future should be easier to reach than your distractions. And that one change alone can create momentum. And now, rule number 4 is that use dead time aggressively. Rule number 4 is the dead time rule. And that is what I call it. Most people think business only happens when you have the perfect uninterrupted time. Like you need a full free day, a clean desk, perfect lighting, a beautiful planner, and a background music from heaven. And that is not real life, especially if you're a student. So what you need to learn is how to use that time. 20 minutes before class, 15 minutes in the queue, 30 minutes after lectures, time in the car, time between appointments, time waiting for someone. You can actively use this. And time when your energy is too low for deep work but high enough for light work. And so those small packets of time can build a real business before you even know it. So in that time, you can reply to leads, post content, follow up with a client, research a process, draft a proposal, check a website layout, record a voice note, collect testimonials, and a whole lot more. You could even update your pricing or even learn one useful business skill, and that adds so much value. And this is also where AI becomes so powerful because in 2026, speed matters. If you have 17 minutes, AI can help you brainstorm an offer, polish a message, outline a landing page, rewrite your caption, or even organize your service process. And that is what I like service business and digital businesses for beginners. They fit into real life. And so you do not need to wait until your life is empty. You need to learn how to build emotion. And honestly, some of the biggest things in business don't happen in long, dramatic sessions. They happen in repeated, boring, consistent moments. It could be a follow-up, a post, a call, a text, or even a reply, a refined offer. And that is how businesses grow. Rule number 5 is that start with a service and not a fantasy empire. This next rule is so huge. And if you want to start a business in 2026, especially as a student, start with a service. Not because products are bad, Not because software is bad, not because scalable businesses are bad, because the service gets you closest to the customer, the pain, and the money. And service is one of the fastest way to learn what people actually want. So instead of saying, I want to build the next big startup, ask, what can I do for one person this week that solves a real problem? And that might be a document support, website setup, social media management, research assistance, design, editing, admin support, CV optimization, student consult, or digital setup for small businesses. And one of the smartest things about services is that they teach you the market reality. You hear the objections, you see what people actually care about, you discover what they will pay for, and you get case studies. You build testimonials, you generate cash flow. And then later, if you want, you can turn that service into an asset and a software, a course, community, a product, and a platform. But don't skip the stage that teaches you how the value works. And that's also why my work makes sense in two lanes. Because at Doxalin Consult, I help with practical document-related services. And through Vibe Coding, I help agencies and businesses get professional websites. And both are real. Both solve problems. Both are paid. Both are useful and they can create proof. And the reason I'm comfortable in those areas is because my background as a health information manager trained me to handle structured information, sensitive processes, accuracy, and trust. So in businesses, trust is not a bonus. Trust is the product. It is key. So if you were just starting, begin with an offer that helps one specific kind of person and to get one specific result. And simple wins first, empower later. Rule number 6, build from your current skills and not your imaginary future skills. A lot of people delay starting because they think they need to become someone else first. And they think, when I learn more, I'll start. When I have better equipment, I'll start. When I feel more confident, I'm going to start. When I finish this course, then I'll be ready. All those are just fallacies and they don't actually help you grow. Maybe, but often that's just elegant procrastination. And the better future is start from your skills. Start from the skills you already have, then you can expand later. I probably know more than you think, and even if the skills feel ordinary to you, they may be useful to someone else. And for me, when I look at my background in health information management, I don't just see a degree or a title. I see transferable business advantages, attention to detail, record keeping, data handling, process flow, confidentiality, client trust, documentation accuracy, and system thinking. And those skills fit naturally into document support. They also fit beautifully into digital services because websites, systems, and client operations all benefit from structure and clarity. So if you're watching this, ask yourself, what do I already know how to do? What do people already come to me for? What feels normal to me but valuable to others? You do not need to start with genius, you need to start with usefulness. And by the way, in 2026, if you can pair one core human skill with AI leverage, you become dangerous in the best way. So if you know communications and AI, that is a business. If you know research and AI, that's a business. If you know design and AI, that is also a business. And the same if you know process and AI, that definitely is a business. That's what vibe coding is exciting for. It allows you to translate ideas into functional digital experiences much faster. So don't sit there mourning what you don't know yet. Use what is already in your hands. Rule number 7, don't be a monogamous founder. This is a funny one, but it matters a lot. A lot of people think that once they choose one business idea, they must marry it emotionally and stay loyal forever, even when it's not clearly working. That's one of the fastest ways to waste time. Now, I'm not saying chase every shiny object. That is also dangerous, but I'm also saying this. Don't be emotionally attached to one format that you miss the business that is actually trying to happen through you. For example, you can have a cash flow business and a growth business. A cash flow business pays you now, a growth business can scale later. And so maybe your service business pays the bills while your content, digital product, software idea, or the platform goes in the background. And that is a very sane way to build. In my case, one lane is practical service through Doxalin Consult, another lane is digital execution through Vibe Coding and website. And then this channel, Doxalin, becomes the media layer where I talk about well-building leadership and building of skills. And so do you see how that works? One lane serves, one lane builds, One lane teaches, and over time, they support each other. And that is much stronger than sitting around waiting for one perfect magical business idea to work. Yeah. And so, yes, focus. But don't confuse focus with rigidity. And sometimes the better move is not to force 1 week offer, is to let two complementary lanes grow together. Rule number 8, give yourself permission to abandon weak ideas so quickly. And this rule can save you months. If an offer is not working, if the market is not responding, and if nobody cares, if you've explained it 19 times and people are still confused, you may not need more motivation. You may need a different offer. And that is totally okay. And so too many people drag dead ideas around because quitting feels like an. But in business, quitting the wrong thing quickly is often what creates room for the right thing. And so if a website offer is too vague, make it more specific. If I build website, it's not converting. I build clean, professional website for agencies that need to look credible fast. If I help with documents, it's too broad. Clarify the process, the audience, and the lawful support you offer. And the point is not to keep changing because you're impatient. The point is to respond to reality. Abandon confusion, abandon vague offers, low trust positioning, abandon things that drain your energy and produce no signal. And so you are not a failure because a weak business idea didn't work. You are learning how the market speaks. And the faster you listen, the faster you improve. Apply your business and move faster than your excuses. And this next one is powerful because it turns business from emotion into process. And a lot of people rely on feelings. They say things like, I'm not motivated, I'm not sure, I don't know if it's working. When you track things, your business becomes a game you can actually improve. As you can track how many leads you reached out to, how many people replied, how many calls you had, how many proposals you sent, the number of clients converted, how much revenue came in, and what content performed, what objections kept repeating, and how long delivery took. When you track the game, you stop being vague. And when you stop being vague, you get powerful. And this also connects to speed because in 2026, speed is a major advantage, not messy speed, not fake hustle, but useful speed. Can you reply faster? Can you deliver faster? Can you make decisions faster? Offers faster? Can you build a draft website faster? Can you organize a client's process faster? And can you go from idea to offer in a very fast way? Because speed builds confidence and speed creates learning. Speed produces proof. And this is where AI helps massively because you can use it to draft refined structure, outline, automate, and even accelerate. Not so you become lazy, but so you can become effective and give attention to other important stuff. The goal is not to look busy. The goal is to reduce the time between insights and action. And that alone can separate you from 90% of people who are still thinking about starting. And so I'm going to use Doxalin Consult as an example. I do good work for people. And so there are people I've worked for in the past months that I don't even know. They don't also know me. But because whoever referred me to them have a trust. And so automatically, trust was built in the other new clients. And just like that, I had new clients and I worked for them. They were happy and they also kept referring me to other people. Rule number 10, buy assets and not just aesthetics and become the kind of person who does business daily. And the final rule is really two ideas joined together. The first one, buy assets and not just aesthetics. And when people first start making a little money, they often want to look successful before becoming effective. And so they spend on things that make them feel like a founder instead of the things that make them function like one. And so you do not need to start with the prettiest things. You need the tools that increase trust, speed, and output. A clean domain, a decent internet connection, a simple brand identity, a payment method, a professional email, a reliable workflow, a client system, basic one, maybe a mic, maybe lighting, maybe a tool subscription if it genuinely saves time. Those are assets because they help you work faster and effectively. And second, the deeper rule is identity. At that point, you have to stop saying, I'm trying to start a business and start saying, I am a business builder. I am a problem solver. I am a CEO in training. I'm the kind of person who creates value daily. And that identity matters. Because if you think of yourself as someone who is just trying, You act differently, you hesitate more, you delay more, you negotiate against your own future. But when you begin to see yourself as a builder, your behavior changes drastically. You send the message, you post the content, you make the offer, you refine the service, you learn the skill. You act like someone who understands that small, consistent action compounds. And that mindset shift is one of the most important things in entrepreneurship. And honestly, I've had to live that because being a student and also operating as the CEO of Doxalin Consult means I don't get the luxury of thinking business is a cute side identity. I have to build systems. I have to serve people well. I have to be trustworthy. I have to learn continuously. And I have to lead myself and my team members. And that is exactly why leadership matters in business, because leadership is not only about managing a team one day, it starts with you managing yourself now. Right now. So if I had to summarize this whole video into one sentence, it would be this. In 2026, the best way to start a business is to solve a real problem. Start small, move fast, use your killing skills, and become the kind of person who executes consistently. You do not need to have everything figured out. Of course, you do not need to be older. You don't need to have all the resources. You do not need to wait until you feel like, okay, I'm completely ready. You do not need to copy someone else's life. You just need a problem worth solving, a simple or little courage, and the discipline to keep going long enough for the market to trust you. And if you were a student, please hear me clearly. Being a student is not always a disadvantage. Sometimes it is your birth season to experiment. Your responsibilities may be lower than they really are, and so your learning curve can be faster. Your adaptability is higher. And so whether you want to start a service business, a digital business, a document sport business, a web business, or something that goes from the skill already in your hands, the time to begin is not someday. It is now. And my name is Linda Daisy. This is the way we talk about wealth, leadership, and skills. And regarding to skills, I made a video on high-paying skills that you can actually start learning. Or if I've learned them already, you can start building or executing. And over time, they can become real-time businesses. If you want to watch that video, click. And this video helped you, comment below. I am building in 2026. And you could kindly drop any topic you want us to talk about next. And also tell me what business you want to start or what's been stopping you. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, because on this channel, we are not just talking about motivation. We're talking about practical moves that help you build a better life. So much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.